recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
Take these broken wings, it's Mister!
Broken wings.
Son of a bee sting!
Chris.
I thought it was about a tree falling. I thought it was talking about a person going down. Oh, no. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Carmela.
My vodka's telling me that no, they didn't.
And the answer is yes, they were in 1854.
You lied to me!
Ben.
Jonathan was literally about to break things. He wasn't kidding. He was about to get it from his desk and destroy something valuable.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan, and I am here today once again with Carmela Smith. Hello, Carmela.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back. This is the first time in over a year that you've recorded back-to-back episodes in the same day.
True. You have my full undivided attention today.
And I can't tell you how happy I am that you've chosen to do that. Ben and Chris were like, "Nah, we're doing something. You're not important to us. Whatever."
No,
and I was like,
visiting.
Carmela, please. No, Carmela offered, and I was really excited because games are always great when Carmela participates. We have great guests, by the way, Carmela.
We do.
We sure do. Dave Thakur is with us, General Dave Thakur. Hey, Dave.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome back to the show. I am well, my friend.
Thank you.
Andrew Hashieder is with us today. Hey, Andrew.
Hello.
I told Andrew a minute ago that he has a great gamer name built into his last name. It doesn't sound the way that it's spelled, but Hashieder, that's a hell of a good gaming name right there. I'd use that all over the place.
Also, I would order that at the bar.
Oh, yeah. I don't want the cider. I want the Haas cider. And Rob Burgess is with us today. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. Okay, I want to get to know all of you a little bit better. Dave, we'll start with you. Tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
So, I live up in New Hampshire. And I'm a psychiatrist up here, and something that might be interesting about me, I have been getting back into cycling and recently have been going with my daughters to bike all together to school and then drop them off there and then going from there to work. And so it's been great sort of father-daughter bonding time to exercise, be outside until it gets too cold to do that.
How far away from home is school?
Maybe like 3 miles.
And then from school to work?
From school to work about 5. From home to work about 2.
Oh, wow. So you went out of the way, you went the opposite direction and then back. And so are you biking to work? Did I understand right?
Right.
So 8 miles both ways, 16 miles a day.
Yeah, yeah.
Woo! Man, that's, I bet you're getting in good shape.
It has been working. I have been losing weight for sure.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Cool. All
right. Andrew, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
I'm from Louisiana. I work at a grocery store. I'm an assistant manager, and, well, I'm surrounded by 1,400 video games at the moment.
Surrounded by 1,400 video games. Tell us about that.
I've just been collecting ever since I was younger, and I just enjoy finding new games. If I don't own them and I see them for a good price, well,32 buy them.
And after my own heart.
Yeah, is it for all different systems or the specific systems?
Yes. I have 34 consoles.
Woo!
And 28 handhelds.
Wow.
Man, now this is a real collection. How do you have space for all this? They're lining the walls?
They're lining the walls. There's stuff behind stuff, games behind games, and
wow, I don't think I could name 34 consoles.
Sounds like a warming up Chris question for the future. Oh, very cool.
Get on it, Andrew.
Go through the Ataris.
And Rob, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Sure. So I'm currently living in Las Vegas, but I've lived all over the country. I'm a political consultant, so I help politicians win campaigns and get elected to public office. And something interesting about myself is when I do sound checks for events or rallies or things like that, it's normally happening in the middle of the night. And in order to keep myself awake, I'm using Trivial Warfare as my sound check list while I'm walking around airports or rally sites and things like that. So you guys have been with me on a lot of cool trips over the last year and a half.
Oh, that is really cool. Now I want to find out how good you are at your job in the campaigns that you've participated in. What's your record?
So I count the ones I lost. I don't count the ones I win. But over 15 years, I've lost about 12 races. So
that's a pretty good record, I think. I'm assuming there's more than one election per year.
On average, unless I get hired to work for one specific candidate in a cycle, I'm doing anywhere from 15 to 25 races a cycle. So,
ooh. Oh, man, you're good at this. I love it. Well, this is going to be a great game, and we're going to get it started with Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
And today, Andrew is going to be running Warm It Up Chris for us. So, Andrew, why don't you describe what you are going to have us doing?
The Warm Up Chris today is going to be, it's called Pope or Nope. The following list will be either a list of names of, they'll be either Pope or something that sounds like a Pope. The no regnal numbers will be used, and the list has been alphabetized. So there's no game theory.
Oh, there's always game theory.
You have 2 lapsed Catholics on this call at least. So.
I don't know if I ever mentioned that I'm a almost lapsed Catholic. So if you weren't counting me,
it's a lapsing Catholic. It's a waning Catholic.
I'm an Episcopalian, so I'm Catholic light.
You're Catholic light. Exactly. It's rare to meet a waxing Catholic now. A waning Catholic more often.
We're going to start out with Dev, then go to Rob, Jonathan, then Carmela.
All right, so you keep us in order and keep us rolling, okay?
Okay, Dev, the first one is going to be Pope Adrian.
That is a pope.
Yes, and the first one, if there's multiple, I'm going to give the first one if I have the research done. The first one was from February 1772 to December 772 to December 795. The next one for Rob is going to be Pope Berthwald.
Oh, I mean, that sounds like it could be a pope, but I'm going to go not a pope.
That is correct. It's Archbishop. He was an Archbishop of Canterbury.
That's
right. My goodness.
Episcopalian,
all right. Episcopalian.
Okay, Jonathan, Pope Cannon.
This needs to be a D&D weapon. I'm going to say yes. Pope Cannon's a real pope.
Yes, it is.
Heck yeah.
So it's canon that he's a pope.
That's right.
He was pope from October 686 to September 687.
Oh, only a 1-year pope.
Okay, Carmela, Pope Drogo.
We were just talking about Jason Momoa last episode. I'm going to say this is a nope.
That's correct. Drogo was a saint of, or is the patron saint of unattractive people.
Really?
So
not Jason Momoa at all.
Who in the world named a patron saint for unattractive? How ugly was Drogo?
Patron saints for everything.
I feel bad for the man.
Okay, Dev, Pope Ephesus.
I haven't heard of a Pope Ephesus. I know it's a place. I'm going to go nope.
Correct. It's an ancient city in Turkey.
Absolutely. Well done.
Okay, Rob, Pope Fabian.
That's a pope.
Heck yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
January 236 to January 250.
Are we perfect so far?
Yes,
Woo!
so far.
All right.
Pope
That's a drink.
Fikri, Jonathan.
Well, I mean, I don't believe in jinxes for real, but geez.
It's spelled Fiacre.
C-R-E. Fiacre. I'm going to say nope.
Correct.
Woo!
It's the patron saint of people with STDs.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Told you they have a saint for everything.
They have a saint for everything. The patron saint of gonorrhea.
Okay, Carmela. The next one is Pope Phidias.
Phidias.
Could you spell that?
Fidious.
Oh, that's actually tricky. I'm going to say nope.
That's correct. It's modern day slang for fabulously hideous.
And
We're still perfect.
I was thinking it was the patron saint of the Phidias. Yeah.
Okay, Dev, Pope Germanicus.
This is a 50-50 for me. It's a totally plausible name. I haven't heard of one. I'm going to say Pope.
No.
Oh,
It's a Roman
no.
general.
I
Dave,
broke
you
the streak.
ruined our streak. Oh, who was Germanicus? Is this made up or is
Roman general.
Roman general?
Okay, next would be Pope Gomarus.
And this is for Rob.
Pope Gomarus.
How do you spell Gomarus?
Gummarus.
That didn't help at all.
Yeah, no.
Gomarus.
I was looking for some type of context clue there, and it was not. It did not exist. I'm going to go with nope.
That's correct. It's the patron saint of difficult marriage. Okay, Jonathan.
Oh my God, you
next
went and
one.
found patron saints of really crabby things, dude. I didn't know that was inherent in this, but I'm even happier with having you do it now. It's really great.
Next one for Jonathan is Pope Hilarious.
Oh my God. Come on. Spelled like it sounds?
Please be a
Oh, like it sounds.
Please be a pope.
Pope hilarious.
I mean, it's got to be, right?
Game theory, right?
I mean, if it is a pope, you have to include him. And if it's not a pope, then you have to think that they're going to think he must be a pope, because otherwise you wouldn't. I'm going to say it's a pope because you would not make that up as
Unless
an
he is
option. That's the game. See, there's always game theory. I don't think you would pick hilarious as a guess or as an option for a pope if it's not real. I'm saying it's a pope.
That's correct. Pope Hilarious is actually the one that made me make this list.
There it is. See? Game theory
was
in
Pope
effect
from-
as always.
November 461 to February 468.
And yes, we know it's not really game theory, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, Carmela. Pope Hyginus.
Maybe it's the patron saint of dental hygienists. I'm going to say nope.
Nope, it's a pope.
Oh, hygienist. Oh,
January 136 to January 140.
Oh, he was an early
Ooh,
pope.
pope.
Wow.
Okay, Pope Ignatius.
This
So
is
there's-
to Dave.
This is me. There's definitely a Saint Ignatius who is not Pope. I'm going to say nope.
That's correct. Do you know what he's the saint of?
So the Jesuits, but maybe many other things. I don't know.
Spiritual retreats.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is what I
I
have.
thought, is St. Ignatius the same person as Ignatius Loyola?
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's many, but that's the one that I've heard.
I was wondering if they were different people or not. I don't know. All right, Rob's turn.
Okay, Rob. Pope Innocent.
Oh, that's 100% a pope.
Yeah, there was
That's
several
all.
of them.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm still waiting for Pope Guilty to pop up, though. So
Okay, Jonathan. Pope Lando.
There are, a long time ago, maybe 5 years ago, I started trying to create Instagram and Twitter pictures with interesting facts on them. Katie does this for us now. Thank you, Katie, by the way. But I did maybe 20. And one of the ones I did was me taking a picture of Lando Calrissian and putting a circular halo above his head with the fact that Pope Lando was like from 536 to some year like that. So yes, Pope Lando is definitely a pope.
Yes, but you had the years wrong.
Of course I did. I mean, that's 5 years ago.
913 to 914, or July 913 to February 914.
There it is.
Wow, short.
Well, I mean,
Okay,
he got
Carmella.
overthrown by the Empire.
Pope
Yeah.
Linus.
Linus? Like the Peanuts character Linus?
Correct.
I don't know. I'm going to say that's a pope.
Correct. He was the second pope.
Ah,
Whoa.
67 AD to 76.
They went from Peter to Linus.
wow.
How many more do you have, Andrew?
5.
You know what? Let's go one more time around. They're going quick.
Okay, Dave. Pope Simplicus.
That's an unfortunate name. 50-50 for me. I'm going to go Pope.
Correct.
Nice.
468 to 483. Rob.
Rob?
Pope Sylvester.
Oh man.
I taught Tweety Bird.
Yeah, well, see, and the first thing that came to my mind was Israel.
We already had Pope Adrian, so
I'm going to say nope, not a pope.
That is correct. Or no, it is a pope. Excuse me.
Man.
Oh, Pope Sylvester.
314 to 335. Jonathan, Pope Tiberius.
I think this is a Roman emperor. I'm going to say nope.
Correct. Roman Emperor.
Yes.
Last but not least, Carmela, Pope Urban.
Oh, that's definitely a pope.
Multiple.
Correct. Multiple.
All right, that's your warming up, Chris. Pope or Nope by Andrew Hashieder. Nice.
Thanks,
one.
Andrew.
That was a good one. Thank you, Andrew.
that was fun.
All right, guys, today's game. It's going to be Carmela and Rob versus Dave and Andrew. Jonathan, yours truly, is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
All right, players, round 1, question 1. Category is fashion. When translated literally, the name of what accessory is shadow thrower? And I will say it's a worn accessory. Just for the record, in case there's any kind of doubt about it, I'm not asking for a type of accessory. I'm asking for a name of a type. So, for example, if the answer was Levi's, you wouldn't say pants. You would say Levi's. Or, but I don't want you to think it's a name brand. So, if the answer was dungarees, you wouldn't say pants. You would say dungarees. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Okay, we can lock in.
All right. Dave and Andrew have locked in. Rob and Carmella, you can talk out loud.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought, Carmela, was that obviously it's something that like either covers your gaze, right, or like shades your eyes,
Right.
you know. And I think I'm in my head, I'm thinking too literally that something might translate exactly,
Right.
So I don't know like what those big, I call them a Bahama hat, right, made out of straw that you might wear. I don't know what those are called, but
like a sun hat. Yeah, I it feels like it would be some sort of hat, but not like sombrero, because sombrero just literally means hat. So I'm not sure.
Is there a specific name for a straw hat, like what you would wear on a beach?
I just always call them sun hats. I'm sure they have a more distinct name, but I don't know what it is.
I mean, I don't have anything, you know, for me to pull out of my big bag of nothing here. So, I guess visor would be what I'm most comfortable with.
Yeah, let's just go with visor. At least it's close to what we're thinking of. So we'll say visor.
All right, Carmela and Rob locked in with visor. Andrew and Dave, what were you thinking?
So Carmela actually mentioned the word that we were thinking of. We're not totally confident on this, but sombra means shade. I don't know how the thrower part necessarily fits in, but just because of that connection, we thought sombrero might fit the clue.
All right, and Dave and Andrew figured it out. The answer is sombrero.
Isn't that just the word for hat?
I thought it was just I thought it was a direct translation for hat.
No,
Good job.
apparently it means shade thrower. It's a wide-brimmed hat that gives you plenty of shade. It makes you cool in the shade.
Well, now I'm upset.
Did you have that as an answer that you were considering?
Well, I threw it away. I didn't even write it down because I'm like, oh, sombrero just means hat. So, it's literally the Spanish word for hat.
Yeah, well, it might be the Spanish word for hat, but it's translated literally as shade thrower.
Yeah. But that's why I threw it. I didn't even consider it. I was like, yeah, that just means hat. So.
All right, so points to Andrew and Dave. All right, round 1, question 2. Your category is movies, and shout out to Ethan Samuels for this question.
Thanks, Ethan.
Thomas Anderson is the name of the protagonist in what film series that, despite the name, was not about math or grids? Thomas Anderson is the name.
We're locked in.
You're locked in. All right, Andrew and Dave, over to you.
Do you
So
have
we can
any
talk
idea?
out loud, but yeah, I have no idea what to talk about. Math or grids. So that makes me think about Descartes, a movie series having something to do with Descartes. I really have.
Your guess is as good as mine, but
Yeah,
I'm
the movie
pop
Pi.
culture is my weakness.
I'm thinking of this movie Pi, but that I don't remember the protagonist of that very sort of interesting, odd movie. I don't think it had anything to do with grids necessarily. And they locked in fast. I just have no idea. I think this is a huge gap for me. Could you say the name of the protagonist, Jonathan, one more time?
The name of the protagonist was Thomas Anderson.
That name doesn't ring any bells for me.
Yeah. Maybe P.T. Anderson, but I can't think of why that would have anything to do with the protagonist's name. I have no idea. And if it was me, I would just go with Pi because I know that's a movie.
Okay, let's go with it.
All right, Pi.
All right, Rob and Carmela.
You can hear Hugo Weaving in my hair going, Mr. Anderson. This is The Matrix.
It's Neo's real name.
Yeah, well, it's dead name, but yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Anderson is the right way to look at it. The answer is The Matrix. Really great job.
Haven't seen that movie in years.
All right. That evened it up nicely. Okay, and round one, question 3. Your category is local governments. The most common word in Australia for a rural local government area is what word that many of us heard for the first time in books by Tolkien?
We're locked in.
All right, Rob and Carmela are locked in. Andrew and Dave, it's over to you.
So I have no idea specifically, but was thinking about the word shire. And Andrew brought up that, yeah, there are shires in England as well, and I live in New Hampshire, so it's not sort of unique to Australia, although I don't think it has to be unique for the question, but
most people would have heard of it before Tolkien.
Yeah. So, I mean, what else can we think of from Tolkien's books? There's Middle Earth itself. There's the Shire. There's mines and mounts and mountains. There's also some natural features.
Where were the elves? Where were they from?
I can't remember any like classification or like type of place they were from.
Same.
It was some sort of like land across the sea, right?
Yeah, this falls under pop culture, and I'm not good with pop culture, except video games.
Yeah, I can't think of anything better than Shire.
We can go with Shire.
All right. So, we'll lock in with Shire.
All right, Rob and Carmela.
We both wrote Shire pretty quickly. I mean, that's probably the most commonly known thing in Tolkien's universe is the Shire. So it made the most sense to us, so that's what we went with.
Your correct answer is Shire.
Woo!
Yes, the word Shire by itself, I think, is not something that, at least here in the States, not something that we would hear commonly used at all, if not part of a city's name, or from the works of Tolkien. So I ran across it. I was watching some Netflix movie with Kate Winslet, who played a fashion person who went back to her podunk town in Australia, and the local government there was called a shire. And I'm like, holy crap, I didn't know shire was a real word for a place. So I had to start looking into it, and it's like, wow, it is. It's the main unit of local rural government there. So I'm writing a question.
That's a good question, Jonathan.
I appreciate that. We are tied up 20-20 at the end of the first round.
Woo!
Round 2, question 1. Your category is To Boldly Go. Shout out to Matthew Burris for this question.
Thanks, Matthew.
What company was hired to help create spacesuits for the Apollo program? They are perhaps better known for underwear, as they were the first company to show a woman wearing a bra on a television commercial in 1977.
Okay, we can lock in, Jonathan.
All right, Andrew and Dave have locked in. Rob and Carmela, over to you.
All right. Is there one begins with P? Okay, so P. I don't know.
So I know this is somewhere in the depths of my brain. My dad is a huge Apollo mission nerd, and I grew up watching a lot of these documentaries with him. In fact, in the house he lives in now, one of the men who walked on the moon actually slept in a guest bedroom, and he put like a plaque on the door, right? So I'm sure this is something that he has bored me with at some point during Thanksgiving, right? But
I, unfortunately, one of the things, in this particular instance, space stuff is one of my strong suits, but it's mostly like what missions went where, or like, who was the first American to spacewalk kind of stuff. And this, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, underwear companies that start with P. I mean, because my first one was Hanes. I know they're a company that makes those kinds of clothes, and they've been around for a while. Fruit of the Loom, but P, that's not coming up in my head, other than like, specialty lingerie brands.
I mean, if I was just going off those, Hanes is the one that would kind of make the most sense.
Right.
I know they were based in North Carolina, and the proximity to Florida might have made it an attractive, like place to source goods from.
Right. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to pull out anything better.
All right, let's lock in with Hanes.
All right, Hanes.
All right, they said Hanes. Dave and Andrew, did you also say Hanes?
This was all Andrew.
I've actually heard this a couple weeks ago, and it's Playtex.
Oh, yep.
Where did you hear it, Andrew?
On a random podcast I was trying to get into, but I couldn't get into them.
Wow. Well, the correct
Maybe you should give him another shot.
The correct answer is, in fact, Playtex.
Yep.
And I even asked Carmela, is there a bra company that starts with a P?
Yeah, there absolutely is. It's not one that I've ever purchased anything from, but yep.
Yeah, I mean, they have quote-unquote space-age technology. All right, round 2, question 2. Your category is science.
Science.
That was pathetic. We're going to try that again. We need coordination, at least. Some energy. Are we awake? Here, we'll try again. Round 2, question 2. Our category is science.
Science.
There we go. All right. Now, what hormone is known for surging during hugs and orgasms, and is the same hormone that is triggered in both moms and babies during the process of breastfeeding?
All right, we can lock in with meow meows.
Oh.
Yeah, let's ask the psychiatrist what happens to your brain.
I had to do an extended meow meow local vocal there because the hammer is far away, and I had to push the microphone back so it stretched a little bit so I could get set up.
I think he's going to want something more specific than endorphins.
I mean, I like, if he wants something more specific than that, I mean, I like dopamine. For some reason that stuck out when you said it.
Yeah. Dopamine makes sense. I mean, I'm trying to think of all the stuff that my brain doesn't, process very well. So like serotonin and dopamine. Yeah. Dopamine, I think of the ones that I started to think of, I think that might be the one that fits the best. And I'm probably getting it confused. So yeah, you want to go with dopamine?
Yeah, I just that sounds familiar, especially when it comes with mothers and children, right? There's something back there.
All right, so we'll say dopamine.
All right, dopamine for Carmela and Rob. Dave and Andrew, tell us what you were thinking.
So this happens to be in my wheelhouse. So yeah, dopamine and endorphins surge when you do things that you love, but specific to hugs and breastfeeding, that immediately triggers for me oxytocin.
That's the other one I wrote down.
It is.
The correct answer is oxytocin.
The very first one I wrote was oxytocin or dopamine.
And dopamine is a hormone. They're both considered part of the 4 happy hormones. But yeah, this one is oxytocin.
It's not the happiest of the hormones.
Yeah. I'm definitely not producing any oxytocin right now.
Oh.
It's fine.
Well, maybe this will spike a dopamine hit for you here. Our next category, round 2, question 3. Your category is where in the world is Carmela San Diego? All right, now Carmela San Diego recently stole a DeLorean from Doc Brown. She went back in time. She went back in time to 1603, traveling to the site of modern-day Tokyo. What was the name of the city at that time when it became the de facto capital of Japan?
Really, really great if autocorrect would knock it off.
Who are you asking autocorrect to kill?
Itself. No, I don't actually want that to happen to anybody, really. All right. Now it finally did it.
All right, we can lock in.
All right, Dave and Andrew are locked in. Over to Rob and Carmela.
Oh, well, cool. You agree with me. I get Kyoto and Tokyo mixed up because they're the same letters but rearranged. But I think Edo is what it used to be called.
No, I agree with it. I remember it was really short, and it was vowel, consonant, vowel, and I couldn't remember Edo, Ido, and as soon as you said Edo, I was like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go with Edo.
All right. Andrew and Dave, what were you thinking?
Went with the same thing, went with Edo. I remember hearing on a podcast about the Edo period when Tokyo was the capital, but it wasn't called Tokyo. So that was the trigger for me.
I believe Kyoto was the capital before this city, and this city is called Edo. That is correct. Good job.
Yay.
Would have also
I had to type it 6 times because it kept going Eco, era.
Right?
I'm like, no.
Like, why are you giving me a Judge Ito meme? Jetto and Yedo would have also been accepted. It apparently has multiple pronunciations.
Oh, cool.
Everybody gets the points, and at the end of the second round, Carmela and Rob have 30, and Dave and Andrew have 50. It is 50-30. Round 3, question 1. Your categories: actors. What actor died while driving a car that had been nicknamed Little Bastard? The actor, who enjoyed de Saint-Exupéry's Little Prince, has a documentary about his life subtitled Little Prince, Little Bastard.
We're locked in.
Yep.
Rob and Carmela locking in fast.
So we can talk out loud.
Sure can.
Yeah, so I think I was just about to write this. Andrew wrote it faster than I did. I have no idea if this is right. It's just I agree that this is definitely an actor who died while driving. So he said James Dean. I don't think I'm going to come up with anything better. I haven't heard of anybody more recently who died in a car crash who loved The Little Prince or who had a car named Little Bastard. So I am happy to go with that.
Works
All right.
for me.
They said James Dean. Rob and Carmela.
Yeah, apparently this car is like cursed or something because I think like it got chopped up and like pieces of it went to other cars, and those cars have since met other bad ends. But yeah, this is definitely James Dean.
Oh wow! So apparently it's a little bit of Christine there. Correct answer is James Dean. James Dean. Apparently his favorite quote came from Little Prince. It's actually engraved on his tombstone. Good job by both teams. Round 3, question 2. Your category is history. Shout out to Matthew Burris for this question.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matthew.
At the Chapel Wall in the United States Military Academy, all of the former names of superintendents of the school and revolutionary generals can be found. While still technically in a place of honor, only one name is scratched out and removed, yet still shows the title of Major General. Who is this person?
We're locked in.
That was you, Rob?
Yep.
That was fast. Rob and Carmela locked in.
I have
Dave
no clue.
and Andrew.
So I don't know this, but Jonathan mentioned Revolutionary War generals. Benedict Arnold, would deserve to have his name scratched out from that category. So
I can agree to that.
I don't think I'm going to come up with anything better than that.
Sounds
So
good.
you locking in with Benedict Arnold?
Locking in.
All right. Rob and Carmela?
I think we both came to this answer almost instantly. But yeah, you would definitely scratch his name out. Benedict Arnold.
The correct answer is that traitor, Benedict Arnold. Good job, both teams. I really liked the question. I hadn't heard it before. I didn't know about it, but there's a lot of information in there, and it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
So is it still legible?
It says scratched out. I don't know if that means there's a line through it or if the whole thing has been defaced, but you can still read the title of or his rank. Mm-hmm. So it didn't extend beyond his name.
Very cool fact.
The chapel is an extremely moving place. If you ever have a chance to visit West Point, I strongly encourage it. So.
All right, very cool. Round 3, question 3. Your category is improvements. Shout out to Clint Givens for this question.
Thanks, Clint.
In 1969, Richard Stevenson filed a patent to add a design feature to a certain familiar object. Described in the patent as an inclined foot depressible lever. That's a quote, inclined foot depressible lever. This simple modification is now called a kicktail. It improves users' balance and maneuverability, and it is a standard feature on what kind of object?
We can lock in.
All right. Andrew and Dave have locked in. Rob and Carmela, over to you.
I like that. He rips the handlebars off the scooter. Skateboard makes a lot of sense. 1969, that's, like I said, Dogtown, Lords of Dogtown kind of time frame. And at one point I could a little bit ride on a skateboard. And you definitely would push down on the tail, and it's like an inclined plane and you use it to steer. Skateboards make sense to me.
Yeah, and I've got this scene from Back to the Future stuck in my head where Michael J. Fox has gone back and he rips the milk crate or the egg crate off the kid's homemade scooter and just has the wheels left. Mm-hmm. And when he hands it back, the kid says, "This is great. This is all I want now." So I want to say it's a skateboard. So
yeah. So we're going to go with skateboard.
Okay. Andrew and Dave?
We just said skateboard also because you use the tail to not only steer, but you also use it for tricks.
So both teams said skateboard. The correct answer is skateboard. That is right. Good job. So according to Clint, the kicktail is the upturned back or front edge of the skateboard's deck, where earlier skateboards were flat. The kicktail increases leverage and control, making the sport safer, and improves the ability to do many tricks.
I never knew that was called a kicktail. I always knew it as the nose and the tail, but,
Right.
Uh-huh. I did not know it either.
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome. And that takes us to the end of the third round, where the score is 80-60. Dave and Andrew have a 20-point lead going into the midpoint. And today's midpoint comes to us from Clint Givens, who wrote the last question. Thank you, Clint.
Thank you again.
And on a roll, Clint.
Category. Clint is a good question writer. They're usually both well-written and interesting, which I love. Your category in the midpoint is science.
Science.
There we go. Here we go. Scientists use the metric system, also known as SI units, from the French for Système International. There are 7 base SI units representing the fundamental types of measurement. For example, the base unit for length is the meter. For 4 points each, name any 5 of the other 6 base units, whose measurement types are, and you'll want to write this down, time, mass, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, and the amount of substance. I'll repeat those 6: time, mass, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, and amount of substance. Those are 6 of the 7 categories of SI units. I want you to tell me what the base is for each.
And you want all 6?
No, I want 5 of the 6. Y'all have about 2 minutes left.
Okay, we can lock in.
And we were just about to.
All right, so let's go to Carmela and Rob.
All right, so we're going to go with seconds for time, kilograms for mass, Kelvin for temperature, amps for electricity, and candles for luminosity.
All right.
Unless you need us to be more specific for candles.
Could you be more specific?
Foot candles.
Okay. And Andrew and Dave.
So our list has some overlap, but some differences. So we went with seconds for time. We don't have to specify what it's for, do we?
No.
So seconds, we went with degrees Celsius instead of Kelvin. Kilogram, Candela instead of candle, and ampere.
All right. So your correct answers are seconds, kilograms, Kelvin, ampere or amp, Candela, and mole would be the amount of substance. I made a decision after hearing Carmela's answer. I said to myself, for candle, I said to myself, if the other team either says candle or misses it, then I will give credit. If they say specifically Candela, then I'll give credit to the team that's more correct and not give credit for candle. Dave
should have went with moles.
Dave and Andrew did say Candela, so they will get the credit, and candle will be marked incorrect. So both teams got 4 out of 5 for 16 points each.
And we talked about moles, but wasn't confident enough to choose that.
We did too. Jonathan, just out of curiosity for getting better at trivia, is Candela a foreign translation of candle?
Because it's a measurement, I don't believe it's a foreign translation of anything.
But I didn't know if it was like Latin of candle, right?
I don't know.
I was just curious. So
I mean, this isn't Latin, but I know in Spanish it's a false cognate, and candela means flame, not candle.
Yeah.
But Latin could be different.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't because it's the name of a measurement. Translation wouldn't change the answer's correctness, but it's probably based on a similar topic. Right. But I don't know the answer to your question.
No worries.
All right, so at the end of the midpoint, the score is 96-76. Dave and Andrew have a lead. All right, that's the end of the first half. Before we go on to the second half, I want to let you know that today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Do you have something that is keeping you from being happy? Do you have something that's bothering you, something that is making it just a little bit harder to go about your day-to-day life? Sometimes we just need somebody to talk to. And that somebody, in many cases, could be a licensed professional therapist. BetterHelp makes licensed professional therapists accessible to everybody. It is an online service. You don't have to go to an office. You don't have to research person after person. Every single person they have is highly qualified. And if you're not vibing with the person that you're talking to, you can switch. It's very easy. You start communicating with the therapist within 48 hours, and you'll be able to message back and forth all throughout the week. There's no limit to messaging. It is a really fantastic service. BetterHelp can help you with lots of different things. Maybe you're having issues with family. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you're depressed. Maybe you're having a hard time sleeping or struggling with relationship issues. BetterHelp can get you in touch and build a relationship with a counselor who can help you with this. BetterHelp is convenient, it's professional, it's affordable, and it keeps you out of the office. You can do it right from the comfort of your own home. You can start living a happier life today. You'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/TWA. And you can join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TWA. I've used the service. It is fantastic. If you want somebody to talk to, you should give it a try. All right, let's get on with the second half of today's game. Round 4, question 1. Your category is, quote, love songs, quote, unquote, love songs. Shout out to MJ for inspiring this question.
Thank you, MJ.
What musical couple joined forces for the 2015 hit, I Know What You Did Last Summer? They wouldn't join forces again until 2019's Senorita. I need both members of the couple.
I know this. If I could spell it. We're locked in.
All right, over to Dave and Andrew.
Yeah. I know the songs. That's about it.
And so Senorita was the second song?
Yes, Senorita was the name of the second song.
In 2019. Okay, and the first one?
The first one was I Know What You Did Last Summer in 2015.
I'm going to be kicking myself once they're said because I cannot think of this at all.
Mm-hmm. I really, I feel useless, but don't know
the song Senorita here. The song Senorita's in my head now.
Do you want to sing it?
No.
Can you do impersonations?
Not really.
Andrew murders a hit.
Stop, it's already dead.
I'm thinking of Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez for no good reason.
No, I know that's not it. But we can lock in with that just to have something to lock in with, but I know that's not correct.
I know you're not right, but I don't know what it is.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, I have nothing else. So, okay, just to end the misery, we might as well.
Yeah.
All right, so you're locking in with?
With Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez.
Okay, Rob and Carmella, over to you.
Well, I've got to give credit to Carmela on this one because I only knew half the duo, but she knew them both. So we answered Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello.
Camila Cabello.
Yeah.
The correct answer is Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. Nice.
Yeah, I have some listening homework now.
You were just talking about Shawn Mendes last episode.
I know. No, it was the Warm It Up Chris of last episode. He was an answer for me. Yeah, I'm enjoying his music. All right, 10 points to Carmela and Rob. That's a big gain.
I am glad that she's broadening your horizons a little bit.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, it's as I lose on some things, I gain on others. Round 4, question 1.
2.
Nope, question 2. Question 2. What beer maker has announced that it's launching a new limited edition beer that will be illegal in 15 states due to its 28% ABV? The beer maker's normal brew and seasonal varieties typically range between 5 to 10 ABV.
God, 28 is so much for a beer.
Yeah.
That's so much.
We could lock in.
All right, Andrew and Dave have locked in.
You know, when I think about, you know, beer producers, what I call the big domestics, right? Your Bud, your Miller, your Coors, they all fall in somewhere between 5.2 to 5.8, I believe. I'm not aware of any of them having anything close to 10%. I mean, even Bud Heavy, I think, comes in at like 5.8.
Yeah, it's still on the light side.
Yeah. So because of that, I started thinking of domestic producers that produce what I would consider more heavy beer. And the first one that came to mind was Samuel Adams.
And they do a lot of seasonal stuff.
They do a lot of seasonal stuff. But again, 28%, that's like a 4-ounce pour at a bar.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be a really small glass.
Yeah.
So just because of that, you know, I mean, I don't have anything better unless you do, but I would lean towards Sam Adams.
Yeah, just on the seasonal stuff, Sam Adams was my first thought. I don't drink nearly as much as I used to, so I'm a little out of the loop on when things like this happen. So yeah, I'm good with Sam Adams if that's what we want to go with. I'm good with that.
All right, we're going to go ahead and lock that in, Jonathan.
All right, they said Sam Adams. Andrew and Dave, what were you thinking?
We also said Samuel Adams, and I believe it is called the Utopia Brew.
And how do you know this?
I like beer.
Me like beer.
A big clue was seasonal varieties. Sam Adams is known for their seasonals. The correct answer is Sam Adams. Good job by both teams.
Yeah, I definitely would have needed that seasonal clue.
I can't wait to try Utopia, though.
Since tequila is 40 ABV.
Right.
So think about it.
My favorite beer is Dragon's Milk. It's pretty high up there on ABV, but it's not nearly anywhere close to 28.
Mm-hmm. All right. Your second question in the fourth round, your category is... Nope, that was the second question. I was about to say your category is beer. I forgot to name the category last time. The category was beer. God,
Very
I'm bad
clever.
at this. Yes.
I'll teach you how to write category names.
I can write them fine. I just didn't make time for them. It does remind me, though, when I was a senior in high school, we had a party at the house when my parents were traveling. And my stepbrother came up with the code name for beer, which he called Reeb, which obviously is like a Pokemon way of saying beer because it's just beer spelled backwards is Reeb. After my parents found out about this Reeb party, my father pulled me aside and asked me if we were getting into drugs and what Reeb was. Yes, good memories. I was relieved to find out that's what he wanted to know.
Are you doing drugs? No, Dad.
It's just beer. Spelled backwards. Come on. Get with it, old man. Round 4, question 3. Your category is characters. What animated character has a name that is always written in all caps because it's actually an acronym that describes his primary mission?
Warlockton.
All right. Andrew and Dave, over to you.
So I'm thinking about what possible missions could be. A mission to save or rescue something or someone or destroy something or exterminate. Nothing's ringing any bells for me.
And animated is just so broad.
It's a huge world. I mean, we could think of anime. We could think of Saturday morning cartoons, Disney, Pixar.
Wall-E?
So I can't remember what that might stand for, but it is all caps. You said Pixar, and it just came to mind. Yeah, I mean, unless you can think of anyone else, any other character that's all caps, I think that's a great answer.
Let's go for it.
All right. We'll lock in with Wall-E.
Okay,
right.
Rob and Carmella.
So I wrote Wall-E, and then we thought about Bender from Futurama, but Bender's not capitalized, and Bender just bends stuff and drinks a lot of beer. Speaking of beer. So we ended up just going with Wall-E because I don't think we had anything that was going to make more sense to us.
Yeah.
Don't know what the mission would be, but Wall-E.
No clue.
I almost asked the bonus of say what the acronym stands for and give points for the number of words you get right, but then I realized I didn't want to give you the number of letters in the name because that would make it too easy, so I couldn't expect you to.
I mean, we can do it now, Jonathan.
No, that's quite all right. Your correct answer is Wall-E. Waste allocation load lifter Earth class.
Makes sense.
Waste allocation load lifter. That was his primary mission, and he was a little trash man. Yay!
Excellent. Great pull, Andrew.
I mean, you came out of nowhere with that. That was really great.
I haven't seen Jonathan do that on a game yet, so watching you do it on Jonathan's behalf was wonderful.
At the end of the 4th round, Rob and Carmella have gotten on a hot streak. They are at 106. Dave and Andrew are at 116. It is a 10-point game going into the 5th round. Round 5, question 1. Your category is sports.
Sports.
Shout out to Nathan Hirschberger for this question.
Thanks, Nathan.
In the 4 major American sports leagues, that's the NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL, there are 2 matchups between team nicknames that could occur in more than one league. Give me one for 10 points and shout out to the bonus brigade. Bonus brigade! I'll give you 2 bonus points if you can name both sets. Here's an example for you. This is like the Red Blacks playing the Argonauts in both a Canadian Football League and in a field hockey league. It's the nickname that could be the same even though it's from different cities or different leagues. Does that make sense?
Just a quick clarification.
Mm-hmm.
I would find similar team names across 2 of the leagues or across all 4 of the leagues.
There's only 2 matchups that it could occur in multiple leagues. So let's say there's a matchup that it can occur in the NHL, and that same matchup of team names could occur in the NFL.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
I might not come up with that other set, Rob.
I'm literally writing down every name in all 4 leagues right now.
Remember, there's only 4 minutes left.
Yeah. I think right now I'm just proud that I could figure out one, considering how bad I am at sports.
Got about 2 minutes left.
All right, we're locked in.
All right, over to Andrew and Dave.
Yeah, we were about to lock in too. So we think that it's going to be the Giants and the Rangers.
Okay.
Maybe we didn't understand the correct question correctly. So we would lock in with Giants, and the Rangers would be the bonus.
It's a match. So I'm asking you for 2 games. So the first answer should be 2 teams that play each other. So you're still talking it out.
Yes.
So if your answer was the Giants and Rangers, that means you think the Giants and Rangers could play each other in 2 different leagues.
Yes.
Okay. And then what would your bonus answer be? That should be another matchup.
Okay, the bonus, I know there's the Jets.
I'm happy with you to go with anything you can think of, since sports is my worst category.
Jets, and I don't have another one. I can't think of another team.
Okay, so we can just lock in with the first answer. And
Jets and the Giants for...
Okay.
All right. So Giants and Rangers and Giants and Jets. Rob and Carmella, what were you thinking?
So whenever there's a sports question, I'm like, oh God, what's this? I'm not going to know anything. But I do know that the Cardinals exist in both the MLB and the NFL, and so did the Giants. So I went, oh, the Cardinals and the Giants. Cool, I got one. And then we struggled to figure out the other one. So we definitely wanted to go with Cardinals and Giants for our main. I don't know, Rob, if there are Jets in hockey, but it sounded right. We ended up going with Jets and Panthers for a bonus.
NHL and NFL.
Yeah.
All right. So the correct answers. Carmella, you got on the first one really quickly. The Cardinals in St. Louis and in Arizona. That is MLB and NFL. And the Giants in San Francisco for baseball and New York for football. Cardinals and Giants can play each other in 2 different leagues. That is correct. Both teams said the Jets. That is a good answer. The Jets exist in Winnipeg in hockey and in New York in football. And the other team that exists in both hockey and football from Carolina and from Florida are the Panthers. The Cardinals and Giants and the Jets and Panthers are the 2 possible correct answers.
Way to go, Carmela. Good teamwork.
12 points for Carmella and Rob.
You told me at the beginning of this I would have gotten a big 4 question right for sports. I would not have believed you.
All right, round 5, question 2. Your category is business. And shout out to David Abalafia for this question. Thank you, David.
Thanks, David.
What industry leading company, founded in St. Louis in 1957 as the Executive Leasing Company, was renamed by its founder after the aircraft carrier he served on during World War II? He changed the name from one to the other.
All right, we are locked in.
All right.
So I don't know, but I thought of real estate with Executive Leasing Company, and I thought of Berkshire Hathaway, which I guess is industry leading, although more sort of involved in finance and investments. But I think one of the things that they do is real estate.
Yeah, they do real estate.
I can imagine they sort of primarily started that way, and then, Warren Buffett just got rich enough that he invests in everything and everybody pays attention to it. I don't know if you have any other
no clue
triggers from this.
That's why I got him to reread it.
1957. That's plausible. He's old enough that he could have started it in 1957, I imagine.
Yeah.
I have nothing else if you're okay with locking in with that.
I'm okay with locking in.
All right. I notice a pattern that I think Andrew and I sort of work the same way. We don't just think about all sorts of random connections. I think we either decide we know it or don't. So we're okay with locking in with Berkshire Hathaway.
Okay. And then Rob and Carmella.
This is mostly Rob. I just agreed with yes, that is the name of an aircraft carrier. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So this would be Enterprise Rent-A-Car. It's a Midwest-based company. They do a lot of good work at hiring NCAA student athletes when they graduate and they don't have the opportunity to go pro. But yeah, they're The owner was naval in the Navy and served on the USS Enterprise. So we went with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The 3 aircraft carriers the U.S. sent to the Battle of Midway were the Yorktown, the Hornet, and the Enterprise. Correct answer is Enterprise. Great job by Rob and Carmela.
I thought about leasing land, but not leasing cars. That didn't cross my mind.
Yeah.
It's probably something that Rob has to do a lot is rent cars.
That's a really good point.
Quite a bit.
Round 5, question 3. Your category is music. Wow, nobody's doing sound effects for me.
I apologize in advance, Carmela.
I don't ever do the music thing that Chris does.
I feel like I'm alone. All right, shout out to Clint Givens for his third question of the game.
Thanks, Clint.
Been a question writing machine lately. There's something happen. Oh, this is a set of lyrics, okay? There's something happening here. But what it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I've got to beware. These are the opening lyrics of an iconic 1960s protest song. What is the title of this song? A common four-word phrase that does not appear anywhere in the song lyrics.
I'm 100%. Rob.
Oh, you're good.
I'm 100%.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Carmela and Rob have locked in. Dave and Andrew.
All right. I think I know this. So as soon as I started hearing the lyrics, I started singing the whole thing in my head. And then thankfully I was still listening to Jonathan finish the question, mentioning that the title isn't anywhere in there. So I had to think, okay, so I know the words. What's the title? I think this is For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield.
Go for it. I don't know.
This
music.
might have been on the Forrest Gump soundtrack, and I was just looking at a list of one-hit wonders from the 60s, and I think this was on there.
Okay.
So if you're okay with that, I think this is called For What It's Worth. We'll lock in with that.
Okay, let's lock in.
All right, Carmela and Rob. Carmela has hands over her face.
Because I'm stupid.
Oh, no.
I mixed the song up in my head with another song from the same era. And I just, I made Rob lock in without even talking to him. And I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
And
no worries, teammate.
What did you say?
I had the tune to For What It's Worth, but the lyrics for All Along the Watchtower in my head, and I scrambled them. So I wrote All Along the Watchtower and locked in, and I was like, oh crap, that's not what I was going to say at all. So yeah, we said All Along the Watchtower.
Well, For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Yep.
For what it's worth, the phrase For What It's Worth is often abbreviated FWIW in internet shorthand. All right, that was a big question because Carmela and Rob had taken a strong lead in the first two questions of that round, but at the end of the round, it is now only a 2-point lead. The score is 128 to 126. Carmela and Rob with a 2-point lead.
I am so sorry, Rob. I barely shouldn't do 2 shows in a row.
No worries, teammate. I would not have been able to help you either. So we would have missed it. Don't worry about it. So.
All right, going into round 6, your first category is pioneers. What woman, played by Claire Danes in a 2010 Netflix biopic of her life, was a pioneer in the field of animal husbandry as well as being famous as an autism spokeswoman?
All right, we can lock in.
All right, over to Carmela and Rob to talk out loud.
So yeah, he said 2010. I'm trying to remember looking through my Netflix queue.
Well, you're looking through your Netflix queue. I'm looking through my bag of nothing. So,
What's in there?
A lot of nothing. So.
Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
Anyway,
honestly,
sorry, go ahead.
Where I'm getting caught up is the autism part of the question, right?
Yeah.
Like I think I can see this movie, but the one thing I can't tie into it is anything to do with autism activism or anything like that. So
yeah, something that got recommended to me, and I think it's like Temple something, but I don't know if that's a first name or a last name. Temple could be a last name. I don't know. I'm gonna be a little useless here. I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize. I mean, I know it's wrong, but the only thing that I keep coming back to in my mind, and again, I preface this by saying I know it's wrong, is rabbit-proof fence.
Do we need the name of the movie or the name of the person?
The name of the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got nothing.
You want to hope that Temple is that person's last name?
Yeah. Let's just lock in with Temple.
All right.
All right. You're locking with Temple. Andrew and Dave, what were you thinking?
So I think that they're on the right track, but Temple is her first name. And if I have her whole name right, it's Temple Grandin, who I learned about in high school. We read An Anthropologist on Mars by Oliver Sacks, which I would highly recommend. But part of what that sort of biography, mini biography of her talks about is her using her experiences as an autistic person growing up in a world where most people are neurotypical, sort of using that to find empathy with animals and develop animal husbandry practices that are more sort of empathetic and ethical. So I didn't know anything about the movie, but this triggered something from high school. So we locked in with Temple Grandin.
I watched the movie a couple of months ago with MJ, and it's really good, by the way. I think it's on Netflix right now. You can check it out. Really, really good. And it was brought back to mind at the Kids Book Fair this week, as a matter of fact. There is a My Name Is Temple Grandin book in the series by Meltzer, I believe, is doing that series. I am Martin Luther King. I am George Washington. I am Temple Grandin. And I was like, wow. I'm going to write a question about this. Temple Grandin is the correct answer. Really good job out of Dave and Andrew.
Good job.
Yeah, very good job, guys.
That was all Dave.
I did wonder if that would be a stumper or not, and I'm really happy that it's not. All right, round 6, question 2. Your category is science.
Science.
The rare 3 science game. Shout out to Mark Burton for this question. By the way, Mark Burton is the warhead who annoyed me the most this week.
Why?
Not in a bad, not because of anything he did, but because of something the computer did on his behalf, apparently. He sent in 3 wonderful questions a while back, maybe a month or 2 ago, and I was going through questions to pick some for this show. And for some reason, every one of the questions he sent, all 3 of them sent at least 10, between 10 to 20 times. So I thought I had a notebook full of questions. No, I had 3 questions with about 50 to 55 emails with those 3 questions by Mark Burton. I was so annoyed. He didn't do anything wrong. It's not him. I'm teasing a little bit, clearly. But yeah, lots of emails with this question in it. Here you go. Shout out to Mark. In 2020, a Komodo dragon named Charlie at the Chattanooga Zoo produced 3 eggs that hatched, even though she had never mated with a male partner. What is the scientific name for this process, known as a virgin birth, where eggs can develop into an embryo without the need of sperm?
We can lock in with 3 meow-meows.
Whoa, that's all the meow-meows. Meow-meow!
In my 2020 haze, I completely missed the virgin birth thing for the Komodo dragon. Did not know that was a thing, and all I can think about is asexual reproduction, and that's certainly not the answer.
Yeah, I don't think that's it either.
I got nothing for you, Rob. I'm so sorry.
So the only thing that I can think of, and I think asexual reproduction is too broad. I think that's a full type of reproduction, but not a specific to virgin birth.
Right.
Going back to the few science classes I took and even paid attention to, I want to say it's some type of compound word, and the only part of that compound word that I can even remember is Genesis. And I don't know if that triggers anything in your mind.
Maybe something like haploid genesis or diploid or anything like that?
Yeah, monogenesis.
Haploids and diploids are like the things coming together from parents. If I can remember any of my genetics classes that I've ever taken.
Diploid?
You. The older brother I never asked for. But I love you dearly.
Everyone needs an older brother. I can be rented.
So if we were at haploid and what was the other one?
Ditloid.
Okay.
Or diploid. Not ditloid. Ditloid is something else. Diploid is genetic stuff. A ditloid is, I don't know, some sort of grammar thing. But a diploid, I think, is genetic.
Like I'm sitting here and I'm going to hold it up for you because obviously I haven't circled anything. But you'll just see like I've got blank genesis just right there. And I can't fill it in and it's bothering me.
Monogenesis is not bad.
I mean, I don't have anything else. It's probably going to be wrong, but let's go with monogenesis.
All right, monogenesis.
All right, Andrew and Dave.
So this is one of my favorite words. So Athena, the goddess, Athena was born from Zeus's head and wasn't conceived the usual way. And she's sometimes called, I think it's Athena Parthenos. And the Parthenon is like the temple for Athena, the main one in Athens. So I like that connection for this word. So we went with parthenogenesis, which is virgin birth.
The correct answer
started saying Athena, I was like, yep, that makes sense.
The correct answer is parthenogenesis.
Good job.
Really good job, Rob. Man, you were right there. You were right there.
I'm so frustrated right now.
That's one thing when you come on Trivial Warfare. It's like, you if you're on Trivial Warfare, you're probably pretty good at trivia. Even if you think you're not, you're probably pretty good at it, unless you just really like the personalities, which is possible because Carmela and I are so likable.
Absolutely.
I don't know how likable
that's the sarcasm coming out. But you're always going to go up against other people who know a lot of stuff too, and it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe I was so close and they knew it. Oh.
Well, I'm sorry, Carmela.
Don't be sorry. I mixed up in my head because my brain doesn't work correctly all along the Watchtower, and for what it's worth, two songs they were no way related.
For what it's worth, I think you're even now.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh, you see, I worked it in there. It was nice. All right, last question of the 6th round. Your category is inventions. And thanks to Govind Chettiar for this question. I believe I'm pronouncing the last name wrong. I'm trying my best, though. Chettiar. Thank you, Govind. What 4-word biblical phrase was the first transmitted via the telegraph, sent by Samuel Morse in 1844 from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore, Maryland? I want you to tell me what 4-word biblical phrase was the first transmitted by telegraph.
We're locked in.
All right. Rob and Carmela are locked in. Over to Andrew and Dave.
I have no clue.
I mean, I'm going through the books of the Bible in my head, thinking of any 4-word phrases that would make sense. One of the things I mentioned in the chat, a savior is born. I don't know why. That seems completely irrelevant to the context. And I'm trying to think of anything that has to do with like communication or the Tower of Babel or miracles. The Lord is my shepherd. It's 5 words, so it doesn't fit. In the beginning, God. Let there be light.
Yes, go for that.
I mean, it is a 4-word phrase. It's kind of dramatic, although this is for telegraph.
Still, I mean, it's better than the other things we've come up with.
Yeah. All right, so let's lock in with let there be light.
All right, Dave and Andrew have answered let there be light. Carmela and Rob, tell me what you were thinking.
I've got to give credit to Carmela on this. This was all her because I was going the same path that Dave and Andrew were going down, and I was trying to find something that was positive. And she said, no, I think this is dark.
Yeah, I read it at some point for another question, and I tossed it away because I was like, oh, nobody's going to know that. So I
if you get it right, you prove yourself wrong.
because I researched it for something else. And I was like, it's not a happy phrase. And I was like, something about, God wrought. And so we ended up going with what hath God wrought? Like, it just seems ominous, like a really ominous thing to send to somebody. So that's kind of why I remembered it. Because I'm like, why wouldn't you send something positive, dude?
I will say, in defense of my hard last question of the game, if we excluded knowledge that our players get from researching things, there would be a lot of questions that we do not ask. The correct answer is, what hath God wrought? Numbers chapter 23, verse 23. That is a correct answer by Carmella.
Good job,
and
teammate.
Really well done.
That was a nice job, Carmela. Wow.
Thanks.
All right, at the end of regulation, Carmella and Rob have 138. Andrew and Dave have 146. It's 146 to 138. It is a super tight game, and you need to figure out your gauntlet wagers in the category of Viva la France. Viva la France is your category. Both teams work out your wagers. Don't say them out loud.
Okay, we've agreed on a wager.
All right, Dave and Andrew have locked their wager in. Rob and Carmella.
All right, we're talking about it.
I realized I was pressuring you when I started saying it like that, and I was like, nope. They don't have to say it out loud.
All right, our wager's locked in.
All right, it is time for the gauntlet, and today's gauntlet is written by Susie Becker. Big shout out.
Susie.
Thank you, Susie. Question 1. What Paris landmark is named after the peaceful and beautiful mythological place where the souls of good people go after death?
Okay, we're locked in.
All right.
All right, we are locked in.
Your second question in the Viva la France gauntlet by Susie Becker. What creamy mold-ripened cheese that softens on the inside as it matures is named for the northwestern French village where it originated?
We're locked in.
All right. Carmela and Rob have locked in first.
Our answer is locked in.
All right. Your last question of the gauntlet in the Viva la France by Susie Becker. What automobile brand is named for the French explorer who founded Detroit in 1701 and was governor of Louisiana from 1711 to 1716? Man, that's a hell of a resume.
We're locked in.
Our answer is locked in.
All of our teams have answered all of our gauntlet questions. I'm going to come back through. The first question in the gauntlet by Susie Becker for the category of Viva la France. What Paris landmark is named after the peaceful and beautiful mythological place where the souls of good people go after death? I want to hear from Andrew and Dave first. What did you say?
So this, I think, is the Elysian Fields, which in French is the Champs-Élysées.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Carmela and Rob, what did you say?
I thought about Elysium, but I'm like, I don't know what that is in French. We ended up going with Arc de Triomphe.
Okay. Question 2. What creamy mold-ripened cheese that softens on the inside as it matures is named for the northwestern French village where it originated? Carmela and Rob, what did you answer?
We ended up going with, we both said brie pretty quickly. And then when Andrew and Dave started talking, I felt a little less sure, but we ended up going with brie.
All right. Dave and Andrew, what did you answer?
We went with Camembert. It's just we were split between brie and Camembert, and we just decided to go Camembert.
Okay. And then the last question in the gauntlet, what automobile brand is named for the French explorer who founded Detroit in 1701 and was governor of Louisiana from 1711 until 1716? Andrew and Dave, what did you answer?
We guessed an American automaker that has a French-sounding name. We went with Chevrolet.
All right. And Rob and Carmela, what did you answer?
I thought about Chevrolet. I'm like, that sounds French. When you first started reading the question, I was writing down French automaker, so I wrote down Renault. And then you started talking about Detroit. I'm like, oh, he's going to go with an American brand. So I thought about Chevrolet. And then Rob was like, I just had this question about 10 days ago. And what was that answer, Rob?
It's Cadillac.
All right. What are the odds of that?
So we picked all different answers.
Every single answer was different. Here are the correct answers. The Paris landmark I was looking for was the Champs-Élysées.
Yeah.
And it is the French Elysian Fields. The cheese I was looking for is Camembert. Really great job.
Oh, man.
And the automobile brand was named after Antoine Cadillac, who lived from 1658 until 1730. Big shout out to Susie Becker. This was an awesome gauntlet with well-written questions and a theme.
Definitely.
When I saw it, I loved it. I didn't change maybe 3 words in the whole gauntlet. She wrote such good questions. Nobody got all 3. And that means this is really going to come down to wagers and strategy. I'm going to find out first from Andrew and Dave. Andrew and Dave, you were leading by 8 points. You had 146. What did you wager?
We wagered 0.
Champions bet 0.
Oh, my God. Rob and Carmela, what did you wager?
So the gap was so small. I'm like, we can literally bet anything. So let's make them lock us out. So we bet everything.
Bet the farm.
With a score of 146 with a 0 bet to 0 after a bet of 138. Your winners are Dave Thakur and Andrew Hashieder. What a game. What a finish. That was awesome.
Good job, guys. That was an awesome game.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. That was fun, and that was a great gauntlet.
That was fun.
I mean, it was chef's kiss. Shout out to everybody who wrote questions. Anybody writing questions, you can go to trivialwarfare.com. There is a submit a question button. Carmela, just for my education, just to make sure I'm not imagining this, when they select your name in the drop-down and send a question, you do get questions from the site yourself, right, that I'm not sending?
Yeah, if they remember to actually do that, it comes directly from the site.
So you can send stuff to our hosts without them going through me. If you send it to me or just general without selecting, it comes to me. And that's a fabulous way to send questions to hosts that you want to ask them for whatever reason you want. And so a big shout out to everybody whose questions I selected today. Fantastic. We love listener questions, and y'all did a great job. So guys, I'm just really impressed. Dave, Andrew, Rob, Carmela, fantastic game. Really competitive. Some of the questions played easier than I thought at the beginning. Got a little more challenging towards the end, just like I wanted. You're right in the range. It was such a good game. Congratulations to everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate the 3 science questions.
Who knew that Jonathan would ask 3 science questions, right? 1 sports, 3 science.
And I got the sports question right.
It's a topsy-turvy world. Before we go, we like to give everybody a chance to do shout-outs and promote causes that they care about. We will start with Dave.
So I'll just give a shout out to my wife, who is watching 3 kids right now, so that I can be in a quiet office to do this.
Huge shout out to your wife. Your other option was to do it while riding a bicycle, so I really appreciate her. Andrew, your turn.
Well, I recently lost my grandfather to Alzheimer's.
Condolences.
So I've been doing a lot of research in Alzheimer's foundations. I haven't figured out which one I want to give to, but I would greatly, what's the word I'm looking for? Suggest doing your own research and figuring out which one you would like.
I think that's a really great cause. In fact, there's continual research happening in that space that seems like it's moving in the right direction. Different indicators, different markers, different things that might help us to someday eliminate this or at least identify it in advance. And so a great cause. Rob, you're up.
First off, I just want to thank Jonathan and Carmella for having me. First time on the show. It was a great experience. So my shout out is 2-part. First off, if you haven't been able to support Trivial Warfare through Patreon, please do so. Every little bit helps, and they continue to produce more and more great content, and it helps all of us. And then secondly, please register to vote if you're able to. Doesn't matter what party you register with. Please do your civic duty and participate in our process and help keep our country free. So thank you.
Absolutely. And I realized that I forgot, I guess because I'm hosting, I forgot to plug a few things in the middle of the show. So as Rob mentioned, if you do want to support the show, if you want to get access to all of our content across the platforms, go to trivialwarfarearmy.com and sign up as a patron. And do not forget, the Everyday Q&A trivia calendar for 2022 is ready to go. It's going to be shipping, I believe, in late November. So order your copy now at triviacalendar.net. All right, that's going to wrap us up. So for Andrew, for Dave, for Rob, and for Carmela, my name is Jonathan. This has been episode number 346 of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped trivialwarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit propodcastingservices.com.